要拼贴图。贝克是什么？不接受。肉体派，内陆帝国的。哦，感觉身手跟体格还蛮重要的。这样就变思想派了。反社会人格。心理变态者。枪法白人。博学多闻，博学多闻能力是什么？ 心理战术。好啦，绿色的好了。思想派。
There is nothing. Only warm primordial blackness. Your conscious ferments in it. Ever. Never, ever. Never, ever, ever, baby. An inordinate amount of time passes. It is utterly void of struggle. No ex-wives are contained within it. An awareness creeps up on you. A mass lies hidden in your dead angle. So ex-love, ex-tenderness. It is foolish of you to resurface to the loss. All right, nothing down to fuck all, Borough. Do you want me to upgrade that to a one-way trip, sir? The song of death is sweet and then, like a fly to the ointment, your conscience sticks to it. The limbed and headed machine. The stench of liquor rises from your mouth, and with it, a fiery streak penetrates your skull.
Somehow, you know what it is. A Caprice Canadian motor carriage.
登等成功。捡东西。靠腰，怎么捡东西 ？R3、L3、L1。行动互动，选择可互动的右香菇头。
You hear a jingle. Keys are clinking in the pocket of your flare-cut pants. It says "Whirling in Rags" on the aluminium keyring. The Whirling in Rags is a hostel cafeteria on the urban coast. This fan has two chain pull switches. One ends in a tiny fan, the other in a light bulb. A truly horrific necktie has somehow attached itself to one of the blades. A mirror hangs above a bent and broken sink. In a fierce discharge of masculine energy, someone as hot water sprays from the base, and steam covers. Suddenly, you realize you have no memory of the face that awakens off vapor. Really, all recollection of the person you are, the people in your life, and as you slowly reach your hand towards the surface of the mirror. Behold, you have no idea who this thing is, do you? Too late. You clearly have rigor mortis on your face. Oh wait, is that a— Please stop. It's horrible. You're scaring— You can't, can you? It's like it's— What does it even mean? What is the emotion you're trying to convey? There might have been, 10 years ago. It's little more than a cadaverous spasm now. It belongs in the new, the third decade of the current century. Enough time. Things were good. It was smooth. For Revachol, your city. That, if it doesn't rhyme, you're not pronounced. Out of the dazzling swirl of disco music, in an open air, Boîte de Nuit, somewhere in Revachol West, Guillaume's blonde mane appeared on the screen. Some 20-odd years. There is a vast ocean of time between right now. Everyone loved it. Maybe you thought some of the stardust would rub off on you. Maybe the click is used to spur on a horse. It also features heavily. You have some understanding of the near history of disco. The rest is dark. It doesn't have to be. You can swoon over Guillaume and his champagne-corked smile whenever you want to. Maybe some of the stardust will return. It's too late. Like an image on film. The expression belongs.
Mhm.没有反应。
The window stands broken in its frame. Cold wind blows in. The morning light hurts your eyes. It's hazy, but you see the ocean and some war-torn buildings. The shards face outward. Whatever broke this window, a fine web of scarring covers the back of your right, more likely a projectile than a held object. There are no fragments on the floor from pulling a tool back in, something you've done before. It is too large for a bullet, yet too small, like the green shoe that's on the hat rack in the... Congratulations. You smashed the window with your own shoe. You mean someone else took your shoe off and smashed the window? This person also forced the drinks on you. A cool wind gushes in. Your toes curl up from the cold. This fan has two chain pull switches. One ends in a tiny fan, the other in a light bulb. The blades come squeaking to a halt. It should be easier to reach the tie now. You swoop up and catch what you have in your hand is a terrible mistake. Turn the lights off immediately. You can practically feel the photons burning a hole in your brain. The lights are off. A terrible mistake. Your eyes burn with photosensitivity. It's not good.
靠背，扣血了。
The fan stands, the lights are off again.
Hello, officer.
The young woman raises a cigarette to her lips. Her eyes are brown and her face is speckled with birthmarks. She can't be more than 28. A silver jumpsuit falls off her like scale armor, sparkling. This is the sparkle of too many nights out on the city.
No. Because you're a police officer, sir. I am, yes. Unless you've been feeding us a set of very well-rehearsed lies all this time. You've been here for 3 days. On official police business, no less. Couldn't say. In truth, so far, mostly drinking. Don't be so harsh on yourself. They let almost anyone be a police officer. Could it be because of the drinking?
She hasn't had time to put her makeup on. This is her morning cigarette. She looks tired, her beauty waning faster than it ought to at her age.
Of course. Be careful, officer. They don't like the police around here.
Something stirs in you as she's about to go. Call it an instinct, a need. The need. She looks back at you, a light glinting off her eyes.
Yes. The dock workers are pretty cocky. They think they're police enough. You're in a hostel, sir. We are in Revachol.
Revachol is the disgraced former capital of the world, divided into zones of control under foreign occupation. Half a century after...
You sure look like you're from Revachol. Parties.
Her accent suggests she is not from around here.
It's 51. The current century? Centuries don't have numbers. They have names. Civilization has existed for 8,000 years, sir. You're right. There is nothing funny about civilization. There was the usual ruckus. Loud disco music. I couldn't say. It's impossible to hear people speaking from over here. Oh, yes. Various artists. Ostentatious orchestration prime among them.
Oh, that. Yeah. Whoa.
Oh, were huge where I come from. I was very young then, of course. Like 7. Life gets hard, but I don't know about that. At around a slow, sad song started playing. Like organ music on repeat. That went on for quite a while. Yes, there was a church in there. A really small church. Like the smallest, saddest church in the whole world. It was about that. That it doesn't matter anymore and that we're alone now. It was difficult to tell. The song itself was very quiet and soft, but you sounded... Don't be. I was going out later anyway. Then you started screaming and trashed the place. No, it didn't sound like there was a fight. A window was smashed. A tape player, probably. The song stopped. And furniture, too. A real destructathon. There was. I think you screamed that you didn't want to be this. I went out afterwards. Everything was quiet by then. There was the usual... I couldn't say. It's impossible. Yeah? There was the usual... I couldn't say. Oh, yes.
Oh, that. Yeah. Whoa.
Oh, were huge where I come from. It would appear so. At around a slow, sad song started playing. Like that it doesn't matter anymore and that we're alone now. Yes.
It's impossible to say with...
Then you started screaming and trashed the place. A window was smashed. The tape player, probably. The song stopped. There was. I think I went out afterwards. Everything was glad to have been of assistance.
The door is closed. This door can only be opened with a key or from the inside. There is no answer. You hear the shower being turned on somewhere inside. This door can only be opened. This door can only... Still no answer. Still nothing.
Hmm? Hmm?
You should totally sing karaoke here, the first chance you get. Your emotions need to be expressed. People need to know your vast, oceanic soul. And it needs to be heard through a PA system by other people. You should sing the sad small church song from that tape you found. Thought it was obvious. No, don't sing the happy song. You would need another copy of the tape first, though. The one upstairs is destroyed. A man in his late 20s stands behind the counter, inspecting a stuff. Everything is cool between you and this guy. He's a big fan. Make some small talk. A competent work of taxidermy. The white and brown seabird lies among piles of coasters and drying mugs. Looks like the bird was ripped off the shield that was used. This is the great skua. The seabird, the small steel tag says as much. The great skua. Stegosaurus skua.
Look, your buddy is over there. Why don't you go and talk to him, okay?
He pretends not to hear you, concentrating on the bird in a competent work of taxidermy. Looks like the bird. This is the great. The small steel tag says as.
Look, your buddy is. Why don't you go and talk to him, okay?
He pretends not to hear you. A competent. Looks like the. This is the great. The small steel tag said.
Look, your buddy. Why don't you go?
He pretends not to hear you.
No, I'm not the bartender.
He's very animated all of a sudden. This seems like a touchy subject.
Mm-hmm.
A colourful piece of plastic is dangling from his carabiner. Makes your fingers itch. On the counter, rolled out of his open hand, you see a blister pack of headache medicine. It's a dock worker's ID, doubling as a shift card and a job permit. A young, able-bodied man stares back at you from the photo. Santiago S. The man does not mind.
You've just picked up some magnesium. This item is stored in the bottom left corner of the screen above your...
Your fingers find their way into the shackle. The man emits a loud snore. Is he about to wake up? Doesn't look like it, but you never know. The sleeping dock worker has little...
没有插电，什么鬼？
Hello, sweetie. You shouldn't keep your colleague waiting.
A bespectacled man in an orange bomber jacket is tapping his foot on the floor. Looks like as you approach, he narrows on the sleeve of his bomber jacket as well as on its back are the same enigmatic white...
Hello. I'm Kim Kitsuragi, Lieutenant, Precinct 57. You must be from the 41st.
You realize he's waiting for your name. Concentration makes you squint your eyes. Your name should be deep gold and orange, like a forest fire looming on the horizon, but mixed with the stench of liquor rising from your breath. You're 2 steps closer to it, but there are still many to go.
Okay then. It looks like we had a little scheduling error on Sunday. Saturday too, actually. Have you had time to talk to the manager here?
What he means is, he has been trying to meet up with you for 2 days, but you have been otherwise occupied.
Then we should ask him for a rundown of the area. Get me up to speed. I understand the scene is out back, right? It also wouldn't hurt to assure him the police are finally here. In full force, I mean. Have you mapped out the initial interviews? Okay, we'll have time for that after we take a look at the corpse. Have you removed the dead body from the tree? Does that mean the body is no longer in the tree? So, the body is still in the tree, where it has been hanging for 7 days straight. We should go there as soon as we are done talking to the owner. After you, officer.
If you're about to embark on an investigation, shouldn't you have a badge?
You mean you don't have a badge? Losing your identification card is a serious matter. My vehicle has a shortwave. You can use it to report your badge missing. I advise you to try to locate it as quickly as possible, but getting the body down should still take precedence.
Lieutenant Kitsuragi is now in your party. You can talk to him whenever.
The man with the unimpressive beard notices you approach.
Mr. Gart, right?
Yes.
I am Kim Kitsuragi from Precinct 57. This is an inter-district investigation, so joining me from Precinct 41...
What? What is this? A joke to you? Is this what you get when you call the police now? This guy? We've been waiting for a week here.
Sir, I understand your concern, but we are here to do a job. And for us to do it, I need you to stay calm.
Yes, of course.
I know it took us a while to arrive at the scene, but it also took you a while to call us. It was you who placed the call, correct?
No, I only just got here. It was probably Sylvie who called you. She usually works the bar here. I'm only temporarily taking over her duties.
Do you have her number?
As a matter of fact, I do.
This sounds like something you can use to call this Sylvie later.
You said you just got here. From where? Are you a local?
What, of Martinez? No, I live in Jamrock. I only sometimes come here to keep an eye on the place. This is...
But you still know your way around, yes? In case we need directions.
Yes, I know where some things are, but as I said, I don't live here. I just used to work here, and I'm not going...
I didn't imply that. Detective.
He probably means this is where you step in and ask your questions. His face expresses profound doubt. Ask him about the body's location before asking if he killed him. People give up information in the more innocuous questions, which you can later use in the more sinister ones, not vice versa.
She went away because none of your business.
Have they not been telling you you're a cop?
Does she? Maybe she does. Maybe she pertains to the apocalypse. Sylvie is not here because I asked for her number.
Thank you.
I asked an employee out. She didn't want to come, but felt obliged to. It was a bad idea. Now, what is so goddamn fascinating about that for you? It's got nothing to do with the lynching. Good for you. Was there something else? I'd like to get back. I don't know who killed him. I'm not the police. That's your job. What are you, crazy? Of course I didn't kill him. I don't know who killed him.
The lieutenant turns the page in the little notebook he's been scribbling in.
Behind this building, there's a courtyard. They hoisted him up on a tree there. That's easy. See that door there? First you exit through that. Then, to your right, you should see a big hole in the fence. A really big one.
This man means the heavy cavalry of the innocents Franco-Negro, sweeping over the plains and nations of the enemies of mankind. Fifth.
Let's go.
Not so fast. You owe me 130 real. Oh, excuse me. You owe me 130 real.
The IIR, or Inter-Isolary Real, is the global reserve currency. Whatever part of the world you're in right now, it's safe to assume he means you owe him some money.
Wow, you're a genius. Yes, that's right, money. You owe this establishment 130 real. Let's see. 3 nights at a tariff of 20 real comes to 60 real. Then there's the window you annihilated. The hole in the window was the first thing I saw. Another thing you've annihilated is half the bar. You've run a tab of 30 real. Actually, more, but we'll round it down to 30 for your hard work maintaining the stability. What are you, a philosopher? Money is what grown-up people use to pay for things. Things like this hostel room, or 8 bottles of potent blend, and 9 packs of Royal Extra. We use it for everything, really. Yes, it is. No, you see, that's 40 cents. Cents are a form of currency 100 times smaller than the real. I'm not even going to take this. Come back when you have 130 real. Yes.
The cafeteria manager stands silently. Isn't it evil? The order of magnitude between what is asked of a person and what they have.
It does, doesn't it?
There's a shuffle of nylon as Lieutenant Kitsuragi looks for something in the pockets of his orange bomber.
I'm sorry, but he has to pay. I can't let him stay here any longer if he doesn't. If he doesn't have the money by tonight, then...
Officer, maybe you are better off working this from home for now. You live in Jamrock, right? It's not that far away. Officer, you really need to take this up with your station. I have a shortwave radio in my car. Call them, ask for assistance.
Good luck.
By the way, where is home? The address is coming up blank, but you've been at this hostel cafeteria for only 3 nights. Where were you, in time or space? That doesn't sound like somewhere you can stay if you run out of money. You can try. Run some addresses in your head when you get the time. see a set of tire tracks in the brown slush that covers the plaza mosaic. The tire tracks were left here by an unknown event that took place some days ago. Some of that rubber stuck to the tiles right in front of and then accelerated straight into the fence. The driver proceeded to back out of the yard, barely before heading south. Must have been in a hurry.
You are correct. This is a rather motor carriage-friendly city. I'm not sure. There are plenty of traffic accidents waiting to happen in Martinez.
You could follow the track south. There seems to...
Kuno's got this!
If there ever was such a thing as an ugly kid.
Oh yeah, nappa gumpy, Kuno!
Can't talk, pig! Shit's coming up strong. Throwing rocks.
Shit coming up strong. That sounds good. Joyous. You should hang out with this kid. I mean drugs. The kid's on...
Yeah, Kuno, ride the lightning!
Kuno's riding it, see?
The rake, Kuno! You should throw the rake at him, Kuno!
The fuck does Kuno know what a rake is? Kuno's not a gardener. The fuck are you talking about?
He's calling us Kuno! He says we're fucking each other!
Fuck no! Kuno doesn't buy that shit. Fucking entrapment shit.
Fast. This kid has got street smarts.
We shouldn't do anything. You will see.
The language these kids are using.
Alright, entertain the Kuno.
The kid moves his hands like a basketball player dribbling fast.
Kuno's Kuno, pig?
It's always Kuno, never I. Clearly the kid's using the third-person perspective as a shield.
The fuck are you calling a third person? Kuno's the fucking...
Watch out, Kuno! He's trying to fiddle you! He's gonna put his hands on you! Help! Pig's got Kuno! Help!
Help! He's got the Kuno, help!
Everyone can hear. You need to get the hell out of here before...
Everybody, please!
Escalate, Kuno! His dick is out! You're afraid!
Pig's in aim, Kuno! Somebody, please!
How did we get here? How did this happen? This makes no sense. There may still be a way out.
Help! Misters, help! He's flashing Kuno! He's showing his genitals! If you don't help Kuno now, it'll be too late! No one? Kuno's doing this because he likes it, pig.
Help! The pig's gagging him! Kuno can't speak!
Look.
For emphasis, a ghost is saying this. A shit...
I know you wanted to hit me. You got that, I'm gonna fuck that Kuno up, look. The Kuno...
Relax. He can't read your mind. He doesn't know you were thinking that. There's a dead body, remember? That's what you were doing here. You're a cop on a case.
I know what you thought. I'm gonna fuck that Kuno up. You're nothing. You're a...
Kuno turned you into his prison, bitch! You're gonna be in this shit with Kuno!
No, you're not. We can just leave.
Bitch, you're gonna be in this shit with Kuno for...
A peepo is a type of hat, by the way.
Okay. Kuno is kind to his bitch. Ask your questions, but remember, this...
Click, 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 click!
shitload, pig. Watch.
Don't tell the pig shit.
This is where you quickly ask him questions. Real cop questions. Like a cop.
Just a couple of pigs sniffing around in the dip.
Yeah, you tell the faggoty Kuno.
Probably climbed. Kuno was busy down the road when that shit went down. You heard Kuno? Kuno wasn't even in Martinez. I don't know. Some fucking Mesk or...
There is no Night City anywhere. That sounds like the name of a city in some pulp science fiction.
Yeah, Kuno didn't smoke him if that's what you mean.
Thanks, Kuno. That's one name you can now.
Kuno's fuck imp. Kuno uses the fuck imp for target practice.
He's trying to hide the fact that he doesn't know.
Kuno knows what you meant. Kuno's not a snitch, that's all. Trying to make Kuno sing into the popo phone. You're testing Kuno's patience.
Get lost.
Right, pig? This is where Kuno plays with his little wooden shoot. Yeah, whatever. Kuno doesn't give a shit. The fuck about it? You're testing.
Get lost.
Kuno doesn't.
This trash container is locked. The sliding lid has a padlock that said, just a trash container. Your fingers start to itch just looking at that padlock.
We could try using a pry bar. There's one in my motor carriage, or we could ask for a key from the manager of the Whirling.
He might also have information. An inconspicuous pile of the roofing material, Eternite. It's nothing. Someone just left. Glad you asked. When junior researcher Olari Tal invented Eternite in the Vartna Polytechnic Institute, because it's nice and orderly, rhythmic pattern calms your mind. Mammals like this stuff.
Can I help you? What thing? What are you, a cook now? That's none of your business. He wasn't pan-fried, he was lynched. What? Fine, okay. The kitchen is closed until 1 p.m. because the cook is working. You can snoop around after that, if you must. Yes, not the whole damn union, thank God. They come here and...
We should find out who this Nord faction is, occupying. We don't. We have to wait.
There are these things called...
What?
By the way, you should come back to this thing-based questionnaire if you see any...
Mine? No, it...
Thank you for clearing that up. Why do you...
Why? To keep the hobos and drunks out. That's why. And the neighbors.
I thought as much. And
Well, yes.
It seems a little callous, doesn't it? Something stirs in you. Prod at him and find out.
What do you need them for?
It concerns the case. Please cooperate.
Just bring them back once you're done, please. Another thing. Great. Yes?
This trash container is with a well-oiled crack. Don't. Maybe you shouldn't. Just a feeling. A warning from some part of you. The smell of rotten food rises to greet you. You see soggy cartons, dirty rags, and organic waste.
We're just in time. This hasn't been emptied for over a week.
You see milk and egg rest with one broken egg in it. You've done this before. The movements are recorded in your elbows, the methodology in your fingers. No, searching for evidence in the A box falls into pieces in your hands. Baptiste Soleil cereal. Among the threadbare kitchen towels, something has the legs of the slime-covered...
The victim's clothes? Cadaver in odor is faint. If these belong to the deceased, drop them in here, officer. Guitar marked blue jeans. Pockets empty. Or empty. The belt is missing. That's it. Do you see any...
Something slimy catches your eye. A drab, long-sleeved shirt, olive-colored, appears from the food waste, dripping with pus.
This is a military-type overgarment. No label or serial number.
The rest of the rags are just kitchen variety waste. A yellow old mug that catches your...
All right. We should go to Gart again and ask if he knows who put the clothes in the trash. It could be as simple as someone from the hostel cleaning the yard. Or that one. I'd advise against confronting that force. Not really. All we know is the victim's clothes are in the trash. The lid was locked and his establishment had the key. It's just a small loose thread.
The fuck's he on about, kids? You hear that, Kuno? He thinks you're an infant or something.
See?
The lieutenant nods, then looks back into the trash container. You pick out a broken mug with an oddly racist depiction of the yellow man frolicking in saffron. Only in its social sense of...
You've acquired an interactable item.
It's just organic waste. What's this? A blue piece of plastic sticks out from the apple peels. It's something larger. A clipboard. A blue plastic clipboard with moist...
Officer, is that your paperwork? Yes, it is. Look. This plastic has the RCM street grid on it. You've even got an autopsy form. If you don't mind me asking, how did this get in the trash? Understood.
The container sounds a muffled gong.
That's one thing off the list. I think we got it all.
The smell of rotten food rises to greet you. You see soggy cartons, dirty rags, and organic waste. There's nothing more of interest in... The container sounds a muffled gong.
You said you didn't want to talk about the ledger. However, now that you...
It's the ledger you found in the trash. A pitiful cabbage of white and yellow papers hanging from plastic. There's a piece of toilet paper. Or is it cleaning tissue? It's a metaphor. Thank you, waterlogged ledger, for spelling it out for us. It's just toilet paper sticking to the back of the plastic clipboard. You can take it off if you want. Still wet, the toilet paper peels off the plastic easel. An aluminium block runs the width of the board, biting down on the paperwork. The surface is interrupted by a silvery, looks like an official mark, made to be low visibility outside the right circumstances.
靠药，我吃到药。
What? That thing. It's a halogen watermark. We use it for adding information to RCM property. Any capable light with the right wavelength will do. All RCM vehicles have headlights designed to reveal halogen.
This means you can read the watermarks.
It depends. Aside from an anti-counterfeiting stamp.
Maybe yours will have how many cases.
Okay.
While a bunch of sodden papers sag from the clipboard in your... They're not exactly white. They're yellow. Once in a while, there's a red stamp that work, strife, poverty, the Jamrock Quarter. It's the middle of March. You have attempted 2 cases a week. What do you mean? Is that all? The notebook is annual. It says the notebook is annual. It's...
Huh? 2 complex cases to undertake is a lot, yes. You really have to push yourself. I would not suggest it. Lest you start. 2? That's a lot. I didn't mean to say you are making mistakes, by the way. That was presumptuous of me. It's okay. We all make mistakes.
Like a fan of gills, the checkered papers dry in your hand. The hand there is for precisely one more, once all the tasks are accomplished. Sadly, the ledger only comes with an old, worn-down lead pencil. The lieutenant looks at his blue notebook. He is not really saying anything, just standing there, looking at them. Absolutely motionless at first. Then, onto the paper with a brash free hand. Inspect the victim's body. Interview the cafeteria manager. It's not exactly poetry, but poetry. A satisfying slash sounds across the paper. Things to be done and things already done. The composition of reality.
No, actually. Any ideas? Oh, well, then maybe I can suggest one. The Hanged Man. Thank you. I think so too. Good. I'm going to start calling it the Hanged Man. It's good we sorted this out.
Yes, it appears you employ a title, one might say even. One that draws inspiration. Yes, all others appear more light-hearted. The guy's on a couch it's going to take an effort to piece these case files together, but it can be done.
Yes, how very childish of you. In your and my defense, almost it's a holdover from the early days of the RCM. Right after, again, in your defense, I seem to have named one, the man with the hole in his head. I pray his loved ones never... Rail spiked through the head. He died. It was a workplace.
You don't exactly close them. Arson, petty theft, spousal... You don't exactly close them. So much as distance yourself from the smell. In the back, then rip them from the binder. 3. The topmost are misconduct fines. You don't have to be an intellectual giant to do police work. A monetary penalization ranging from 20 to 250 real. But they appear pleasantly vague. These are quite sinister in turn, all in a print so small, a dozen pages of thin copy paper, bright red in color. Yes, all that remains. The rest of the stinking cellulose is much worse for wear. Being sandwiched between the board, yes, you can piece them together using the alphanumeric code on the margin. It always begins with HDB 41. Why, yes, your precinct number is every last alphanumeric in the files begins with it. And these are your case files. It's safe to say, HDB, I got nothing here either. It takes about half an hour to piece one together, using the system you've devised. Where do you want to start? It would be very interesting to read about these, wouldn't it? I mean, that's all you got. From the half hour you spent piecing, who knows? One day you may still, AKA Leslie and Burke. A.K. Leslie will always take his pants off when he's drunk. The only way for Leslie to stop flashing, you would think that, but you're wrong. Can you keep yourself threatening fines, dragging them to the station? Look, it's plain to see from the files that you, Satellite Officer JV, and Special Consultant TH had more important cases to attend to. You uncover cross-reference to several ongoing investigations, each brought to a standstill every time you drive down Main Street. Because they're that good, you're learning. If the files are to be trusted, that's all there is to it. He must have it confused. In the process, the legend he came at us can't get out of his apartment, which is also why the officer responsible. This one is relatively easy to reconstruct. Cause of failure. Rent. The mural is enormous. True love is possible. People call it that thing, and the graffito crew is easy to track down. Only the bell lectures. The case files do not show you finding. The crew agrees to clean up after themselves. However, the 9,000 people subjected to the mural's message, all of Lakeside, Central Jamrock, and Villa Lobos, plus half of the eminent domain, participate in the vote. A staggering 78% of voters choose to keep it. Turns out the opposition were a loud minority, and that love truly is possible in the next. Did anyone ask you what you believe in, man with the smelly toilet ledger? What? Some assholes brought their couch outside and hung out on it. In the middle of insufferable dicks. They were leaving it out. Cigarette butts, coffee cups, stupid couch. No, you didn't have time for that. Murder. Tum-tum-tum. Beaten to death by a throng of Villa Lobos gang members when Joseph Mills was on this case Mills didn't get off the pot. Not yet. He kept at it. No, he was awful. Okay, so the case is handed to you because Mills isn't getting anywhere, and you look into it. No, it's soot and water vapor. It doesn't do any. Yeah, so no one enters, no one exits. He's just sucking on his watermelon hookah. Mills has no idea. See? You can't even read the thing without solving it. Yeah. He liked his hookah. Smoking hookah. Didn't you hear? Not much has changed in the meanwhile. Guillaume Le Million.
Yes?
No response. He's having trouble processing it, believing it even.
Have you tried concentrating on something other than your personal affairs? Really? You look fine to me. This psychodrama is unbecoming.
Clearly, he prefers to think you're malingering.
Then you should consider seeking medical attention. You can use the radio in my kinema to call your station.
A thin man is smoking below an exhaust hood. As you step in, he nods toward the table and says something. Okay, it's definitely not his name. Whatever you do, please don't call him Garancy Quebec. Please. The man puts his cup down and replies something. His left hand, he smiles, and it's almost like music. You see a heavy steel door with a prominent dimple lock. It's paint, the cobalt blue old cobalt paint. It leads to a side building. The door does not budge.
You do? It's a door in the back of the kitchen. Why do you care where it leads? Yes, I suppose it's worth seeing.
It's hardly a side investigation. You already have a name for it.
Garth is the person to ask about this. The cafeteria manager.
BB. BB.
That sugary black rum stain on the counter makes you teary-eyed with joy. It's almost touching our Oh, excuse me. Do you have something better to do than lust for sweet syrupy rum and lemonade? With a...
BB.
Can I help you? Thanks. I hope you found what you were looking for. How strange. I certainly didn't put them there. The trash collection service, CS Municipal.
Ah, the elusive CS Municipal. I thank you anyway.
I think fugue states are more your forte, officer. Sylvie had the keys before I got here, and I can vouch for her. Yes?
不知道，他常常没讲，所以也不知道到底有没有要去。什么？他是全出哦。什么？
There are several footprints in the mud, left by work boots. Anywhere from 6 to 12 heavy workers' boots. Isn't this something an industrial worker would wear?
Noted.
Maybe more than 12. No. 8 pairs of boots. 1. Standard work boot. Steel reinforced. 2. Standard work boot. 3. Hobnailed work boot. 4. Standard work boot. Number 45 or 46? You don't know. It's a 5. Another stat. 6. An aberration. Light as air. Impossible to tell. Could also have been an adolescent. But you're not bad. It's as if the whole world. 7. The glowing outline of a standard work boot. Number 46. But the imprints are twice. 8. And yet another standard work.
How many? I was pretty off then. I counted 20. I never got the hang of it. Hyperopia. Do you see anything out of the ordinary?
什么？
200? Could it be the combined weight of two people, one carrying the other?
He might be right. 200 kilograms of living weight is unlikely.
Possibly, yes.
But why?
Yes, they could have used a makeshift stretcher or just march him up to the gallows. Even easier to carry on a stretcher, or between two men. Anyway, it's for future consideration. What else can you see? A woman or a kid? Okay.
He knows it's hard to discern sex from a person's gait.
Understood. Anything? A woman? Oh, okay.
He knows it's hard to discern.
Understood. Anything else? A woman? Or understood. Anything else? Interesting. Let's someone operating a workbench with a pedal? Like a joiner at the harbor. A drummer only uses their right foot for the kick drum. Perhaps it could be a driver. A driver would wear the right shoe before the left. The accelerator is on the right. We should keep our eyes open around the traffic jam. See whether anyone strikes out as a potential suspect. Seems prudent, no? A week, maybe? 7 days would fit the time frame.
It is not impossible.
I pulled last week's forecast for coastal Havashol. 7 days below.
Correct again. Sub-zero temperatures would...
What do I think? A mob of people brought something heavy. Then, after hoisting him up, they stood in a semicircle facing his direction.
Indeed. They all stood in a row here and looked at... Yes, everything fits so well. Carried him over. The lieutenant's eyes...
Either way. What else?
Kuno, the pig's getting pretty close to me. Come to snuff my shit out, I think. Looks like it's time for me to go, Kuno. Pig's come to take me in. I'm going away for a long, long time, Kuno. Going away for life.
What's going on there? Fuck are you trying to pull, pig?
I come from the woods, good Davidu. You don't want to go there with me. You don't want to see what I've seen.
Don't be traumatizing here. Get the fuck out of here.
I'll die before I squeal, pig. What's this kid shit? Fucking mind game.
Get the fuck out of here.
So it's a girl. Interesting.
I'll die before I squeal, pig. Murder was the case they gave me. I'll die before I squeal, pig. You don't want to fuck with me.
You can still see the top of her. An old call box with a matrix of push buttons lists all the companies in